Boom. And we are live with another episode of the Brown Water Banter podcast. My name is Jared Seymour.
My name is Joey Cates.
And we have a great show for you today in the studio. A good friend of mine for a very, very long time, Donna Gordon, stopped by to talk to us today about her, we're going to call it your health journey. Yep. Her health journey that she's started back in April, man. And she's lost 80 pounds. And you may notice sitting right here next to her is her doctor. Dr. Joel Carter from Bienville Orthopaedics has stopped by. He was so impressed with her story that he wants to come on the podcast with us today and chat about all things health, all things orthopedic, her weight loss journey. It's going to be a great show. But before we get into that, like we always do, we are going to talk about the people who keep the lights on in the building. You might be familiar with that face, but it's a new picture. That's Dr. Robbie Williams right here.
How cute that guy is.
Yeah, from Southern Magnolia Smiles, man. If you're looking for a great local dentist, he's located on Washington Avenue in Ocean Springs. Reach out to him. They're on the socials at Southern Magnolia Smiles on Facebook and Instagram, or you can hit them up on the landline at 228-215-1202. And if you're a traditionalist, go to www.southernmagnoliasmiles.com and look at him there. He's running a special right now. Joey's mentioned it once or twice. If you go there, you tell him that Brown Water Banter sent you. He'll give you a free toothbrush and I think a little tiny thing of mouthwash. Is that correct?
It's floss and toothpaste since it's he's in the holiday spirit and the giving spirit. So
it might even be peppermint flavored. Right. So yeah. Also, Hilltree Marketing, man. If you're a local business, small business, if you're a creator of any kind, if you're a person who just wants a website in general, Hilltree Marketing, they're a local company. They can take care of you. Go to hilltreemarketing.com. You can look at some of the other local businesses that they've done. They build websites. They do IT work. They do cinematography, photography, aerial drone cinematography. He can fly a drone over your business. They create really killer commercials. They do great with website design. If you want to go to brownwaterbanter.com, you can take a look at our website. We're super happy with it. And Jesse did that as well. So moving right along, saltwater fabrication. That's Vincent over here. If you need something done, custom metal, he can do it for you. Right, Joey?
Anything. T-tops, lean and post, anything you're looking for, rod holders. We want to build a boat. You want to build anything out of metal, stainless, aluminum. He can throw some dimes on it. It looks good. He's also got some merch. Just came out with some hoodies that look good.
Right there.
Hopefully we're going to be spending a little time with him at the Pelican if Jared can get off work and go do a little fishing.
That may not happen. I don't know. But yeah, like Joey said, there's his merchandise. That's a long sleeve t-shirt. I don't have a picture of the hoodies, but they're available on his Facebook page, Saltwater Fabrication. Or you can give him a call on his cell phone at 228-229-8855. And like Joey mentioned, that white T-top right there is a custom T-top that he designed and built himself. So if you need any work done, man, go check him out. Tell him that we sent you. And we appreciate it. So now that that's out of the way, let's talk. So Donna.
Yes, dear.
How are you doing today?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
You're always fabulous. And I'm doing pretty good myself. No, so let's talk about this. So back in April, you start the story out. Like, how did all this start and why did you do it?
Well, I mean, you've known me
a long time.
A long time. And I've always been large. I've always been a big person. I mean, Kevin and I started, we were friends at 13 and I was a big girl then too. So fitness and all of that just was never a priority for me. Okay. I figured, and then I had blood work drawn. And of course I was like, oh no, my blood work's good. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. I can be a healthy fat girl. Right. That's how it rolls. Right.
Right.
No. Well, I had gotten up and I cannot believe I'm about to put this out and for the world to hear. This is a first because Kevin never even knew my weight until a few months
Kevin's sitting right over here off to the side too.
Ooh, I'm already getting teary-eyed.
He's here for moral support.
But at my largest, I was 327.
Okay.
In March.
Okay.
We had planned on going. Oh gosh.
That's okay. Listen, we are probably male dominated in our audience, but we do have females that watch the show, and I know any of them that are out there listening to this or watching on the live know how hard it must be to talk about that, especially live on the internet. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Bravery is like off the charts right now. So so we appreciate that.
That's something else I've channeled with all of this.
Right.
But so none of it was ever really, I was like, you know what? Kevin loves me for me.
Right.
He's always told me, I don't care what you look like. I've always loved you for you. And so it never was a priority for me. And
you're a beautiful woman though. Like regardless of where you were at on the inside and out, like Donna, let me switch to me. We've hung out through, I'm pointing at Kevin. Y'all can't see him.
He's over there.
We've played music and bands together for years. Like we've hung around her and him and Donna. You're just a great personality. You're always in a good mood and you're just fun to be around. So I wanted to say that because like you said, like he doesn't care what I look like. You're a beautiful person.
Well, thank you so much for that. That really means a lot. But so in March, we were getting ready to go on our family vacation in April that I had saved up all these flyer points and everything with my job for, and we were going to go take our family vacation to Colorado. Well, we wanted to go hiking in Colorado. And my daughter was all excited about it. It's her first time ever on a plane and going to Colorado, and we were ready to go. And my knee was really acting up, and it started swelling up. Well, I have had knee problems for many, many, many years. And actually on September 11th, 01 at 8 a.m., I was getting, my IV put in for the anesthesiologist was trying to help me go to sleep to have my first knee surgery done.
Okay. So you remember where you were?
Oh, absolutely. Because I was laying there, and then all of a sudden on the television, there was a television in the room that I was at, and they saw the towers were getting hit. And then all I know is nurses and everyone started running in the room, and everybody was looking at the TV, and then it was out for me. It was night time.
Yeah.
So
then you're like waking up. Was that real? Did that really happen, or was I just was that the anesthesia?
Yeah.
Well, it was laparoscopic, so it wasn't like really invasive or anything. I mean, they had to do a lot of repair in there as well.
Right.
I had to have a lateral release. I had a cyst under my kneecap. I had bone spurs, arthritis ridden. They even had to like move my kneecap over. It was a mess, and it was weight. And also in college, I was in the band, and our ex-band director was, he was an ex-Marine.
Nice.
Drill sergeant.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Our band camp was boot camp.
Good.
There was no getting around that. It was on the field at 6 a.m. running laps around the field in August. So anyway, so I messed my knee up there. Finally in 01, I get it fixed. I go through all of that. And Kevin, and of course that was the first one, and he and I've been together, and it started deteriorating and getting worse because my weight kept going up.
Okay.
So my knee started bothering me again.
Right.
And then over the years, I had my daughter, the weight went up, and then it went back down, and then it was just kind of fluctuating a little bit. And then it just started climbing, and it wouldn't stop. And I mean, I'm 45.
Okay.
So I'm premenopausal, hormones are going nuts right now.
Right.
And that adds weight. I have hypothyroidism.
Okay.
And so that right there makes it really hard to lose weight.
Yep.
It really restricts your metabolism. It's just asleep up in there. My thyroid's just hanging out.
Yeah,
it's just napping.
It's just sitting there. It's just
I throw it a pill to feed it every day.
Yeah. That Synthroid, right?
Something about staying alive. I don't know. But
yeah, right.
But so fast forward back, my knee's been bothering me again, and I said, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to go get another steroid shot because I know that helps. It adds some, give me some relief while I go, so I can still wear my knee brace but not be in pain."
Right.
Well. So I go to have my injection, and goodness, I'm getting all excited.
That's okay. Take a minute. Take a minute.
We're all friends here.
So then I go in there for my injection, and the first thing when he walks in with the x-ray or whatever of my knee and everything, and I was going to get an injection at the same time. And first words out of his mouth when he meets me is, "When are we having surgery?" Not, "Hey, how you doing?"
Right.
"When are we having surgery?"
Let's cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that wasn't
whoa.
a great intro, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks,
all
Doc.
right.
Thanks, Doc.
So he starts,
So
he starts telling me how bad my knee is, and it's just trashed in there. And so then I go back for another steroid shot. This was March. Sorry, I keep flip-flopping.
That's okay.
So I go back for the steroid shot for Colorado. And he tells me, "I'll give you the shot, but it's going to be at least 3 months before you can even think about having surgery." He said, "And honestly, it's going to be even longer than that." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because I won't operate on you at that weight. It's too risky."
Yeah.
Because you
put people to sleep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Put people to sleep for a living. So you know how much it weighs, like how bad it is.
Yeah. Correct.
And how deadly it can be.
Correct.
And also the fact that if he did a total knee replacement on me and I was at the same weight or continue to grow even heavier, that it would blow it out again. So why waste his time and everyone else's, his staff's time, if I'm not going to do anything about it?
Yeah.
So when he told me, he said, even right now, he's like, if you needed emergency surgery, he said, there is a serious high risk. He's like, there could be serious complications. And that's not the first time I've heard that. I heard it when I had a salivary stone, which is weird.
That is weird.
Of course, I've got to have freak of nature, like had to have surgery to remove it twice.
Okay.
My ENT, same thing. He said, "I don't really want to do surgery on you."
Yes.
Because of your weight.
Right.
And I was like, well, I've seen people bigger than me have surgeries and stuff. I'm like, whatever, blew it off.
Right.
Well, this one tells me if you need an emergency surgery, there's a high risk that, there could be serious complications, even death with it. And that shook me to my core.
Yeah, that's an eye-opening experience for sure.
I have a 12-year-old daughter who's my world.
Yes.
And I would do anything and everything I can to be here for her for that.
Right.
And again, she's 12. So she's, starting to mature into a woman. So she's seeing what's important in your life and what's not.
Right.
And, having all of the trash that we had in the house as far as food goes, the chips and the cookies and the junk food. Oh my God. I was a food addict.
Right.
Straight up. I mean, you've got drug addicts, you've got everything else. I was a food addict. If there was sweets in the room, I would go for it before I would go for a piece of the meat or anything else or a vegetable.
You sound like Jared.
Well,
guilty.
It was a serious
Right.
addiction.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
I'm less on the sweets, more on like the chips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the
you
fries.
like the salty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, see, I'd like the sweet and the salty. So it's just, well. But I wanted to set an example for her too. I want her to see that you can love your body and not be the same size as everyone else, but still be healthy.
Yeah.
And so all of that kind of combined, I don't know, it was, I mean, and like I said, I've heard it before, but for some reason, it stuck.
It stuck.
Like it really shook me and slapped me around. It was like, wake up. What are you doing? Why are you killing yourself with food?
Right.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I'm getting emotional because that's me. That's me.
No, I mean this is like the thing though. This is like the thing that either you're in denial about it, and I'm not you. I mean anybody who has an addiction to anything, you're in denial about it, or you kind of blow it off, like you don't want to face it, you don't want to address it, right?
Oh, yeah,
and then for whatever reason, Dr. Tucker's speech there it really resonated with you, and you had to face it like head on, right? I mean,
yeah, he like I said, he woke me up. Like it was time. So I said, okay. I told him, I said, well, I'll get the steroid shot and I'll start saving up for the surgery. And, because even with my insurance plan, it was still like $3,900 just to have that done.
Right.
And I was like, I'll start saving up and then, I'll get there. And then I was like, well, I'll start saving up, but I need to do something about my weight too.
Yeah.
So the next week we went on vacation. Well, after Kevin got back from the emergency room. We won't go there, Jared.
We're going to skip that part of the story. Yeah, we don't need to cover that. That's not important. So
anyway, we both were at Bienville Orthopaedics, which is where my doctor is. And they've definitely taken care of us, that's for sure.
Big shout out to Bienville Orthopaedics. I work with those doctors regularly, and they're great. They're a great group of physicians. So
thank you very much.
Yes, I want to hear your side of this though. So when Donna first told me that part of the story that you gave her this speech, I'm like, I'm in healthcare. I know I've been in those speeches. I've given to a certain degree speeches myself, and I'm thinking, you have to be. How many people have you given that speech to that actually listened? Like you get ignored on a daily basis.
Probably a lot.
I get ignored a lot. And sometimes I have a patient walk out angry.
Right.
And sometimes they listen.
Right.
And sometimes they choose to make a difference.
You should have seen his face whenever he was like, somebody listened.
Yeah.
Somebody actually
I mean, she
listened.
just came back. So from my standpoint, so I saw her, I wrote a few notes from the chart. I saw her on March the 18th. And I had you weighed in on our scale at 328.
Okay.
And then on November 11th, I had you weigh in at 253.
Wow.
And
that's crazy.
That is 8 months. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's just diet and exercise.
Yep.
On top of hypothyroidism. I mean, that in itself makes it even more difficult.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I feel guilty taking any credit. You did it, and you did it for yourself. But I have some other points I want to share with you.
Let's do it.
And as far as what this means to you, and what this means to your audience.
Right.
I mean, you're about Mississippi. And Mississippi has an obesity problem.
We do, but nobody wants to talk about it.
Usually the biggest in the nation.
It's uncomfortable.
Yes,
it's uncomfortable. And for you kind of have a lot of credit, but to talk to, I was gonna say, like, talking to a woman about her weight is not the easiest thing to do, even as a physician. even as a physician, right?
Right. But it's my job.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's my job.
Correct.
So if I don't share it with them, if I don't lay it out there plain and simple, like, your life is at risk.
Right.
Yeah.
Then I haven't done my job.
Correct.
Well, I think that's what everybody wants from a doctor is shoot me straight.
Right.
Give it to me what I need. Give me the brass tacks so I can get on with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And sometimes
he saved my life by that.
Sometimes I feel harsh doing it. Like you don't want to.
Some people need it though. Sometimes you got to walk up to them.
Yeah.
Well,
get them back into
tough
it.
love is a real thing, right? And
Absolutely.
it never feels good, but in the end, whether it's your parents or your physician or society or whatever it is, you look back, if you make the change like you did, it's like, oh, okay, that was worth it. I get it now,
So let's talk a little bit about weight and what it means. What does it mean to be overweight? Where are you? How does it affect your health? And then I won't hone that in on for you and like what that means in your life for your children as well.
Right.
So we measure weight because we're all different heights, right? So some people are taller, some people are shorter,
right.
and then so you have a frame. So the best thing we have that is kind of easy to do, easy to replicate without making body fat percentage calculations with expensive
which is a little harder to do.
Yep. We take your height, we take your weight, and we there's a calculation where you calculate the body mass index. Right. Okay.
BMI.
BMI.
People have probably heard of
BMI.
BMI. Everybody heard it.
All right. So for what's considered normal is between 18.5 and 24.9. I'm not.
That's not.
I'm not.
No, you don't. Yeah, I am nowhere near that, dude. Woo, nowhere near that. I'm like pushing high 20s, maybe 30. I'm flirting with 30 hard.
I've always wanted to know where this scale came. Where did this scale come from?
Back in the day when people ate normal size portions,
absolutely,
and you didn't supersize stuff.
So, but this doesn't apply to like to certain people, like bodybuilders. It doesn't. It doesn't.
Like
absolutely, right. But because their muscles take up. So remember, we're talking.
Right.
We're taking height and weight.
Correct.
Right? So
correct.
So some people it doesn't really apply to, but I think for generals it's good to take this, and you got to start somewhere.
Right.
Anything over 25 to 30 is overweight. 30 to 35.
I'm the first one. I'm overweight.
It's when we start getting into obesity.
Yep.
And that's what we call it.
It's a clinical term.
And it's a clinical term, and they go in different classes.
Yep.
Class 1, 2, and 3. Class 2 is when you're over 35 BMI, and class 3, which is where you were, is a BMI over 40.
Mm-hmm.
When you first came in, your body mass index was 48.
I know.
All right. So when we take and we look at that numbers, then we can take that number and put that into the literature, into the science, into the research, and find out where it is. So let's take this one article here where they had an analysis. It was done in 2009, and what they did was they took a bunch of different articles and they compiled all the information together and
meta-analysis.
There you go. A meta-analysis of 57 studies. Okay. And what they found that for every 5 points increased risk in BMI, there's a 30% increased risk in mortality.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So every 5 points you're going up,
because it's
your
just
risk of death is
piling
going up.
on heart disease, diabetes, stuff like that.
Heart disease, heart failure, stroke, blood clots, DVT, those things, cancer, arthritis, kidney disease, sleep apnea, even the ability to just fight off infections are all affected.
Immune system drops, everything.
Absolutely, by obesity. So, but to put that in a different term, in the same study, they're saying that having a BMI over 40 to 45 above decreased your life expectancy by 8 to 10 years.
Wow.
I believe it. 100%.
That's a huge chunk.
100%.
So your new BMI calculated out, it's now less than 40.
Right.
And I'm still have a lot to go, but I'm going.
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, look, this is something to be excited about for you.
Yes.
Okay. And this means that you have now you're increasing your life expectancy more. And as you drop it more, you're going to get a few more years. It's not as big as that first jump by dropping under 40. The mortality rate with surgery, doing that knee replacement, when your BMI is greater than 50, you're looking at your complication rates are up in the 30%. 1 out of every 3 are going to have a significant complication with that. And
That's
the risk
tough.
of mortality is higher when you're being, and you were scraping that number of 50. And that's why, we have got that's why I talked to you. That's why I shared with you. We got to get it down.
Damn it. We didn't need tissues.
I'm a crier, Jared.
We're such dudes.
We need tissues.
It's kind of a dude show. We didn't,
Okay.
That's your fault, Joey.
Sorry.
Okay. So, and this might hit home even harder. And something that you told me in the clinic that resonated. And this is where I think, I really think you need to talk about more too, is what your journey has done to other people.
Yeah.
Because you are
inspiring.
You're inspiring. You're a shining light on the hill. Because here's the thing about the family. Okay. That life expectancy is shown to be more of an impact when it's a child that's heavy.
Oh yeah.
So, and heavier parents are more likely to have heavier children.
Correct.
So,
because they control the diet of the household.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so you're likely adding on,
passing that down to her daughter or future generations. Yeah.
And so that's just
what a gift, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's 8 to 10 more years to live, and now your daughter's going to be
they're
watching you.
They're going to get 8 to 10 more years too.
Right.
Yeah. So I want to touch on a couple of things. So first, I think about the conversation that you had with her. You're an orthopedic surgeon.
Yeah.
Right. Your job is based on fixing these problems, right, for people. Now, whether it's weight based or whether it's a car crash or whether it's whatever reason you have a bone problem, you're there to fix it surgically if that's what it needs. Correct. Okay. So to put in perspective as well, when you mention a BMI over 40, one of the options that people have when they're in that situation where they need to lose weight, and Donna, we talked about this before we went live, is like you usually get pushed in 2 directions: medication or surgery for weight loss, which is a gastric sleeve, right? Some people are familiar with it, some people are not. We take a portion of the stomach out, making it a lot smaller. It's a lot harder to eat large volumes of food, which then causes you to lose weight. I've seen BMIs. We put patients to sleep all the time. BMIs of 60, 65, 68.
That's crazy.
I mean, Joey said it. It's crazy. I mean, it's these people have, significant health risk. We have to put them to sleep because they need this procedure done. But it is not a fun time for us in the anesthetic world because we have to manage that and all the complications that are associated with it. But what my point of all this is that, you gave her that speech and you decided to take it into your own hands, and you didn't go for the quick surgical fix. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because some people need that. Yep. That is the option for some people. I'm not opposed to that. We do them all the time. But you wanted to do it through diet change, lifestyle change, and exercise. And that's what I want to go into next is so you get this bombshell from him. It really resonates to the core. How do you go home that day? You're sitting there, you're thinking, how do you formulate a plan? Where do you go? Who do you reach out to? Do you Google everything? What was your,
would you just start nailing push-ups out right there?
Was it like Rocky style where you're drinking eggs? Yeah. Like what did you do?
Well, I just, like I said, I just decided, okay, well, I'm not going to try to start changing anything right now, because we already had this Colorado trip booked, and it was the last week of March and the first week of April, that week.
Yeah.
So, it was only like a week or so away. And I was like, okay, I'm going to enjoy myself in Colorado. I'm going to go get that fried peanut butter and jelly sandwich that's covered in powdered sugar.
Delicious.
And I did.
I've had one of those, dude. They're legit.
Yes.
They are legit.
Oh my God. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But you know what? It wasn't amazing. It was not as amazing as I feel now.
Right.
But when you were eating it then, was his voice in the back of your head?
Yeah.
That reality in the back of your head?
I would ask him. I didn't even finish it. I ate part of it and I gave the rest to my daughter, and she was like, yeah, it's kind of sweet.
We went to Colorado last summer, and Colorado is not a place to be if you're not in real good shape.
Oh yeah.
Because everything is straight
just
up
walking
hill.
off the plane, you can't breathe.
Yeah. We get off the plane
elevation.
and I'm sweating and I'm like, what happened? I didn't even do anything. And now we're supposed to go climb a mountain?
Yeah. And we did.
Yeah.
We did. He was on his scooter for his ankle. Again, Jared said we're not allowed to talk about that.
Yeah.
We can mention it. I mean,
it's Jared's fault.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Kevin went to rescue him, and he fell off.
He tried to save me while
he
I
tried
was
to save him.
performing in Ocean Springs. A light rig fell on me. Kevin jumps up on the stage to save the light rig from hitting me, and then he jumps off the stage and didn't do it quite so gracefully.
And then we owe
Not
all heroes wear
Bienville Orthopaedics for the win.
Ta-da.
Yeah, ta-da.
Not all heroes wear capes.
That's right.
That's right.
So anyway, so you have that awakening.
Yes.
The peanut butter and jelly sandwich is symbolic of now your newfound, perspective on life, right? It wasn't as satisfying. It came with a little bit of guilt, right? And so now, how do you go forward?
Well, I made up my mind. I even told Kevin, I was like, Monday, we get home. That's the day we got home. And I said, that's it. I'm done.
Have you ever made that kind of statement before this time?
Yes.
You have?
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I was weak.
Yeah.
I had zero willpower. I mean, none.
Okay.
I'd be like, okay, I'm going on a diet.
A day later?
Oh, no, I'm going to go get a burger.
Right.
Yeah.
Same day.
Well-
Like, I mean, or maybe it would last a week. I've tried diet pills. I went down that road.
Yes.
Long time ago, way before Marley. I tried the diet pills.
Her daughter.
I tried. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Yes.
Hey, baby.
Yeah. Paint the perspective.
So I tried the diet pills. I tried all the different programs. I think we even bought one. I never even took it out of the package. It was the one where you're supposed to like draw the body that you think you want, and it's like a journal, and you flip things. I don't know. It was stupid.
Sounds
It was
heady.
way
Did you
too
draw?
heavy.
You draw a stick figure?
Yeah. So I
you have
didn't
to be able to
even
draw. I mean, what kind of?
Yeah, right. I mean, I can't do it because I can't draw.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of like I thought I was going to do it right, and I looked at it and I was like, this is really demeaning because I had to pick from slides of different size fat, basically. Like, does this roll poke out more than the bottom roll or whatever else?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those who are chunky know about the rolls, so don't even go there and ask me.
Right. No, I'm agreeing.
But no, it was
Be my
weird, and
30
you had to
rule.
like flip it to where you wanted to be, and then there was like stuff saying, okay, well, you have to eat so much cottage cheese, and you have to eat. I cannot put cottage cheese in my body
I love it.
I love
I'll be honest
because
with
of
you.
it
I think
now.
it's
But
amazing.
because
Yeah.
I mean, I've tried so many,
I'm with her.
and I just
You don't like it?
No,
Especially with
I'm not.
pineapple?
All
in
right,
it?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
delicious.
that is delicious, but I'm going to be
Yeah.
honest with you. Here's a little fact. Don't judge me. No one judge me. I pour Cheetos into it sometimes,
Oh my
like it's
God.
cereal, and then it's true. It's true. I swear to God, my wife can
What is
verify
wrong
this.
with
In the
you?
it's so good, dude. It's so good. Anyway, keep the
Hey,
story
you
going.
got a card?
I know. I'm
Do you
sorry.
have a card?
Yeah, Cheetos and
I told you I had some weight to lose myself. I'm not judging. Come on, let's go. All right, so
But I just said, okay, what can I do? Because I've tried all these different programs. I tried going to the gym on my own at first, and then I'd kind of get burnt out. I'd go for a little bit, and then I'd get burnt out and go home like, screw it. I ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
Again, he loves me for me, so it doesn't matter. So I just keep buying bigger and bigger and bigger clothes. And finally, I don't even shop anywhere else except for this one plus size store anymore because I know I can't find anything that's going to fit me and
Right.
look decent. So I said, okay, what can I do? And I start looking online, and then I noticed some people were talking about keto.
Yeah.
And I was
Okay.
like, well, what is this? I want to look. So what did I do? No, I didn't jump in first and say, okay, keto. I researched it. I looked online. Google was my friend.
Google is always your friend.
And so I researched it, and I found, okay, well, when your body goes into ketosis, normally before that you burn carbs for fuel, right? That's what you do. Your carbohydrates, you burn, it turns it into fuel, right? For your body.
Correct.
Okay, well, when you go into ketosis, you carb starve yourself. You're not giving yourself all the regular processed carbs and the junk and the just everything. You're cutting it back. So your body's like, hold on, wait a minute. I don't have enough of this to burn fuel. So
I gotta
it
burn something
switches
else.
over to burning your own fat. So
Right.
essentially my body's eating itself,
Correct.
but in a good way.
Here's the problem, and I've made this joke before, but apparently the human body has millions of years of evolution that's designed to keep you alive. And it's not designed for fast food lifestyle that we live today,
No.
right? It can hold on to a calorie like there's no tomorrow because for the majority of time that humans have been around, we've been in calorie deficits the majority of the time.
Because we were meat eaters. That's
Well,
what
you
we
had to
did.
go
Yeah,
hunt,
you
And
hunt a
vegetables.
mammoth down
You
and
kill a
it.
whatever.
well, you didn't know where your next meal was coming from.
Right.
Right.
Well,
at that time.
And
Yeah.
also on top of that, though,
You had to walk 10 miles to
the
get it.
meal that you ate would have been some type of like killed animal,
protein,
right?
yeah.
And then hunter gatherers, you get some like vegetables
Berries,
coming into the thing.
fruits. Yeah.
It wasn't till the Snicker bar and the Doritos came on to play that you can
Big
eat.
Mac.
You can eat 800 calories in 3 bites or
Yes.
less. That's different, right? We're not designed, and it's targeting every pleasure receptor in your brain. They say sugar is more addictive than heroin.
It is. That's why I said I was a food addict.
Or as addictive,
I was addicted to sugar.
I mean, seriously, it really is.
And your carbohydrates, what does that turn into? Sugar.
Correct.
That's what it is. It's sugar in your body. So I was a carb junkie. I wanted nothing but carbs, and I would have carbs in my carbs. Like it was ridiculous. It was disgusting when I look back at it.
So keto comes on board, and you're like, "What? Why that? Why did you say that? Why not Weight Watchers? Why not?"
I thought about
research.
That.
Why not Richard Simmons? Sweating to the oldies. Why?
Don't knock it till you've tried.
Right? I thought it was awesome. I watched it all the time.
Do you still have a VCR?
Yes, I do actually.
Okay.
I'm an '80s kid, dude.
I have a VCR too.
Yes.
But I don't know. I was looking at it and I said, okay, well, I love eggs. I love dairy.
Right.
I can't really do milk because I was a milkaholic too, which
it's got a lot of sugar in it. That's the problem.
I would drink a big Nukes cup because everybody's got those in their cabinets. Everybody knows, like the big
black
Dickie cups or Nukes cups.
Oh,
you get from the store.
Yeah.
Thirst Buster cups,
yes.
whatever.
Yeah.
Milk.
Yeah.
And a cookie, and a pat.
Yeah.
And that's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a ton of calories.
A lot. So I was like, okay, I think this is something I might be able to do because I can do the fake sugar on some of the things, but some of the fake sugar, that's a whole nother thing. It's some people I found out have this reaction. It's a chemical reaction on their tongue when fake sugar hits it. And it gives you like a cooling effect, like minty.
Okay.
Really minty.
Like sucrose is what you're talking about?
Yeah, just like
any
of
them.
the
Sure.
sweet,
Yeah.
any of them. There's so many different
Right.
ones. But so they had like a minty taste to me. So then I was like, oh my God, I'm already in this keto, but I'm a sugaraholic. So I got to have my sweets. Like, what do I do? Because, like keto is mostly proteins and fats and with a few carbs. The proteins and fats have to be equal. Because if not, your body, if you got too many proteins, not enough fat, not enough carbs, your body's going to start burning protein. That's bad news.
Okay.
Right.
That's bad news. So I managed that out. And then the sugar, I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? Because, some of that stuff. And then I had to just play around with it. And I found this one product, allulose, which was really strange to me because I was kind of wondering what it was. Somebody had mentioned it to me. And, I think it's actually derived from a plant, but it was one that didn't have that cooling effect on me because my body, not everyone has that. Some people, you could probably eat the fake sweetener and it not bother you. But with me, it was a chemical reaction. So that was something else I had to overcome because, I had to be okay with having that minty aftertaste or whatever if I wanted to indulge in the sweets.
Right.
So that's, and that was huge for me because I was, like I said, I would prefer sweets over anything, but I managed to go through that. So a lot of trial and error, a lot of research. I would look from website to website. He can ask him. I was constantly going through my phone, looking and researching, looking in groups. And then I saw a lot of the groups too, that kind of made me mad because they were all trying to sell you these products and all that junk. And I didn't want that. I want real. I want honest. I want, this works for me. Hey, guess what? This tastes horrible. Don't do that. This is good. Try this.
Yes.
And so I finally kept going through all these Facebook groups and everything and trying to find somewhere to help funnel the plan that I was creating for myself.
Okay.
Essentially, because I didn't have anybody to show me what to do.
Right.
And so I said, you know what? I'm going to start my own. So I started my own and I started posting on Facebook a lot about my weight loss and everything.
You did. How hard was that for you?
That was extremely difficult at first. There was several posts that I almost didn't post. And then I kind of forced myself to go back and do it because I knew from my history with not being able to stick to any kind of diet plans or health plans or being healthy in general, that if I didn't have something to hold me accountable, it wasn't going to happen.
That's what I was fixing to ask you. Did you do that so you couldn't flake out on this one?
So people would call me out. Right. At first I started putting this little group together and it was just a few of my friends and I kind of was doing it through there. Just, we were going back and forth, all of us. And then I was like, no. Because at first I said, sorry, I did put it on Facebook, but I was putting minimal stuff. It was, I've lost this, but that's it. It's never what I started out at.
Right.
What my real struggles were, it was very hidden. And then
that's normal.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it was scary.
Right.
And finally I was like, you know what? No, I need to hold myself accountable. I need people to, I'm one of these kind of people that needs people to help boost me. I'm a people person. I'm a social butterfly. Yes. We survive by that, by that encouragement and that positivity and that, that encouragement. Like, so I started doing it, and then it just kind of kept. And then all of a sudden people were like, well, what are you doing? Yeah. How are you doing this? Because they know me and they knew the struggle that I had with food my whole life. I mean, think about all your gatherings, who's bringing what, and it's always this horrible spread of food.
Yeah. Well, and Walmart makes those sugar cookies that are like $1 for like 40 of them, and they taste amazing, and they're always at every event, and it's just bullshit.
It's horrible. It's really hard. It makes it very hard for people. So,
I mean, seriously, it's bullshit.
It is. But I think you nailed it when you were talking about your plan. Everybody's body is different.
Yes.
And there's 8,000 ways to lose weight.
Yes.
And that's, I think you've hit on a few key things, is that there are lots of different ways. And I think what's important is that you didn't quit.
Right.
In other words, you this is something you kind of have to explore on your own. I mean, some people will love cottage cheese and other people hate it. If you hate it, you are not going to do it. You will not do it for long. Just like you're not going to starve yourself for long.
No.
And so a crash diet, I mean, your brain is going to kick in and basically make you go eat.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that was only going to work for a few weeks. So when I talk to patients about it, I do like the keto diet, but it's not for everybody, because particularly if you have kidney disease or something along those lines, you gotta stay away from some of these diets. But it's going to boil down to two things: an increase in activity and a reduction in your caloric intake.
Yeah.
Now, what balance that you need for your own success is going to change, and there's going to be some trial and error in that. But patients I have patients that will lose weight, and they will do that, and they have gained success like you, and you've already inspired a lot of people.
Fix that core, Joey. That's going a little haywire. I think because you touched it. It was doing it anyway. Just kind of pull it. Maybe pop it out, pop it back in. There you go. We got a little camera issue here for ladies and gentlemen on the live stream. Yeah, I'll switch over here. Oh, it's all the way around. We will got it. All right. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but so if you don't stick with it, if you don't do a plan that's formulated to you, your likes, what you like to eat, you're going to get discouraged and you're going to quit. So you have to adapt, is what I'm hearing.
Exactly. It is trial and error. You're going to find some things work great for some and not for others.
Mm-hmm.
But it does take, but the two things are, you're trying to increase that activity level to try to burn more calories, and reducing your caloric intake in some shape, form, or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that's been clinically proven is the Weight Watchers program. So it's not for everybody,
right?
But it's convenient use on your app. It may have been one you tried or didn't, but it is clinically proven, and it does help people to lose weight. And I think what it also does is it helps people to learn. See, part of it is education. I had another patient the other day, and I talked to her about some diet options, and she didn't know what to eat. So she came back, and I had her come back in 6 weeks for a follow-up visit for her hip or her knee. I forgot exactly which one it was, but she came in and she said, I haven't lost any weight. And I've changed. I said, okay, well, what have you been eating?
Mm-hmm.
She says, well, I've been eating a lot of potatoes.
Wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't know. She hasn't been educated, and she doesn't.
Yep.
So I might say, well, no, okay, well, we got to work on this. So I tinkered with her diet. So let's go try again, and she's gonna come back in and reweigh and again a little, down the road. but some people just don't know.
It's not a easy subject to understand, especially if you have to do the research on your own. So kudos to you for figuring it out. You know, there are registered dietitians that exist, and I don't know how much referral business you know, do y'all have that in-house at Bienville, or do you refer out, or do you consult or anything like that?
We don't. And it is a shame.
Yeah.
Insurance companies don't cover it.
Right.
Yeah. And that's
so
yeah.
And
we could do 10 hours
Right,
on
thank
how
you.
insurance screws patients around.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All insurances, not one or the other. Medicaid, the whole gamut of the healthcare system, the way it's designed right now. I'd love to have you back on. We can just do that for an hour and a half, honestly. But you know, you're right. So they won't pay for that, because what's the old saying? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Exactly. But they won't pay for the prevention.
That is correct. And so it leaves it to patients or people to go out and find it themselves, and to get tidbits from doctor visits and those types of things. So what we don't teach it in our schools enough to where our children growing up know that. So I mean, that's how we're going to eventually make a change, so that Mississippi is not the
number one in obesity.
No, we compete with West Virginia.
West Virginia, Alabama.
I think
that's not a state we want to be competing with.
I think we're number 2 right now.
Well, that's better, I guess.
Right. But you know, that and what you hit on, what's easy and accessible, it's just not good for us.
And cheap too.
Right.
And it's exactly.
It's cheap.
Well,
it's
I mean,
quick. It's convenient.
You try to go and you try to eat healthy, and you get salad and vegetables and stuff like that. That stuff goes bad in 2 or 3 days.
Yep.
Not just that, but you got to count the calories and everything going in that salad that you may think is, you know, healthy. And
when I can have a Twinkie box
after you dump all the ranch and the croutons on top.
All right. So listen, don't talk about ranch. Easy with the ranch talk.
Keto.
You can have
ranch.
Well, okay.
You can with keto. That's
right. That brings up a good point, though. If you remember back in I want to say it was probably mid 90s, late 90s, the topic then when it came to weight loss was fat. You don't want to be fat, so don't eat fat. So everything was fat-free this, fat-free that, and especially on salad dressings, fat-free salad dressing. But you know what they did? They injected it with a shit ton of sugar to make it taste better. When I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we know now that sugar and carbohydrates are way more of a problem, especially when it comes to diabetes and weight gain, than fat, air quotes, fat is, because fats are actually good for you if you eat the right ones.
Right.
Yes.
Right. That is correct.
Okay.
But that's not ranch dressing.
Correct.
Yeah. Correct.
I thought I asked you to back off of ranch dressing.
It's okay for keto. Just say keto, Jared.
Keto, right.
That's tuna steak fat.
Yeah. Or avocados.
Right.
Non-saturated fats.
Peanuts.
That's something else. Peanut butter, peanuts, avocados, all those things I loved. Bacon. Okay. Yeah. I know it's not healthy. And it's all considered technically dirty keto that I'm doing, because it's not the pristine like health. But you know what? My point is, I know what foods I should be eating. I know how to portion control now, because when I very first started, I was portion controlling. I forgot to mention that part during that week or whatever. So I was portion controlling. That's why I didn't even eat like all of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I started that way. And then I started cutting back on carbs too. So I was low carbing it and portion control. And I lost like 15 pounds in a month just by doing that. Now, a lot of that was probably water weight and everything as well, but that's what started me. And then I was like, okay, how can I kick this into gear? And that's whenever I researched and found all the keto. And a friend of mine had told me about an app. And she was like, it's a pretty cool app and it's free. She's like, I used it a long time ago. And, you know, when I lost some weight, she's like, I need to do it again and I was like, I'll try it. And I looked at it and it was called Carb Manager.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, I can do this. And I started looking at it and told Kevin, I was like, you know what? I'm all feet in. This is happening. I'm doing this. And it was like a $40 for the full premium subscription, but you could get it for free if you wanted, just like the regular version.
Right.
But the subscription one, it let me put all of my measurements. It let me take private pictures and post my pictures in it and the dates and the weight that I had.
Nice.
I've lost 33 inches. And so far, I didn't start measuring myself until May 24th. So whatever I lost between
that first month,
April
which is probably your biggest,
May,
that was probably your biggest loss month as far as in time.
Right.
So the only thing I started weighing from the beginning was or measuring from the beginning was my weight. I didn't do my inches. So I started my inches May 24th and I added them up this morning, and it's up on the app because it shows, okay, you lost 4 inches here, 7 inches here, 7 inches here. And it was 33 inches. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's amazing.
That's a lot.
And here's another little quick success tip, and you can pick it out in what she was saying. Is, I mean, she's turned it basically into a science.
Correct.
You know, I'm logging. I'm down this category. You know, if you're horrible at using a smartphone or something like that, that's fine. You can write it down on a notebook. My wife's a family practice physician, and she tells her patients that, she says, "Look, we're working on weight loss. What we're going to do is, you know, I want you to write down everything you eat, you know, and keep it in a journal."
It makes you accountable.
And then bring it to me. I know. So
I'm going to grade you at the end of the week.
Yeah, but you know, but that takes a lot of stuff that people don't traditionally like to do. It's like work. You have to record it. You have to do it. You have to be consistent. You know, but these are all good tough love, like we started out talking about, tough love things that you have to get into. So
every diet that I've seen work is an uphill battle, and it's usually not. It's usually the same thing. Like, we're going into the holidays. What happens in January? Everybody goes out, buys that gym membership, buys all these weight loss things, and they do it for about 2 weeks, and they go,
"This is tough. This is tough.
This is work."
Yeah, this is tough.
And the first thing you got to do is admit, okay, I have a problem. I have to fix it. Now, it's instant gratification. I think people think like, "Well, I went to the gym 4 days.
Correct.
How come I didn't lose any weight?" Well, you're not. You got to go at least 3 months or at least a month and a half before you're going to see any kind of changes. And people, I don't think they won't have the patience to wait that long to do it. So weighing it out, to me, is the biggest part of what you do, because you work out for a month and nothing changes. You're like, "Why am I doing this?" You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's prioritizing life.
Yep.
I mean,
it is a lifestyle change. It's not a workout change. Yes. It's a lifestyle change.
But you already hit us with the truth bombs. I mean, you're talking 8 years from the BMI change that she's made already.
Yep.
I mean,
so you have to put up with me for that much longer.
She keeps going. She's got more to gain. I mean, that's the thing.
I mean, it's more to gain.
More to gain by losing.
Mm-hmm. And that should be a T-shirt.
That should be y'all's logo.
Yeah, are you gonna make a T-shirt?
Yeah, that should be a T-shirt. That should be a
And
T-shirt.
I think you can equate this in everything. So smoking, same thing. Tobacco use, alcohol use. Every time you stop something and get better with it, you gain more years on your life.
I honestly think the sugar is more of the taboo now. Like, that is the one that's killing people the most.
Yeah.
In my view,
right.
I mean, I'm not a medical professional, but I mean, think about it. Diabetes, kidneys disease, you know, the heart disease, like everything.
And we haven't touched on this yet, but COVID.
Yep.
That plays a significant factor.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you were overweight,
how you deal with COVID on top of a lot of other comorbidities, but
mortality is higher,
way higher.
Higher risk of needing to be intubated, go into the ICU, and you know what? And not just COVID, the flu.
Yeah,
we can see that every year.
Yeah,
you're at high risk of influenza.
Everything when you're carrying that much weight is harder on your body.
Yes, everything. Literally everything, and that's been one of the greatest disappointments. I feel like. You know, again, we could do a whole nother podcast on the healthcare profession and how it's infiltrated with insurance policies and all this other stuff. But no one talks about prevention and no one talks about healthy lifestyles at least as much as they should, right? Because it's not particularly fun. It is a lot of hard work. I would rather, I would rather just take a pill. That's easier. I want to solve all my problems by taking a pill, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. So, and with her knee, I mean, with weight loss, actually, plenty of studies have shown, particularly in women, that preserving your natural knee, weight loss will actually help you to do that. And that's the only thing that's been shown to do that. There's stuff out there like trying to do stem cells and everything in the knee. It's not proven.
Yeah.
Right.
And, but this is, I mean, large studies showing weight loss helps preserve your natural knee.
Yeah, we weren't designed to carry that much weight for consistent amount of time, especially for long periods of time.
Right.
And I think for women it's worse, because I know I've dealt with my wife and other people. Y'all's weight fluctuates way more than we do, it's crazy because I can work out for a month and probably lose 5 or 6 pounds, and my wife can do the same thing, and she's like, "I gained a daggone pound. What are you doing?" You know what I'm saying? So it's tough. Especially in the eye of what society sees women at today, that you're supposed to be, this little bitty.
That's true. And they have more stacked against them.
Right.
Okay.
Hormones start early, kids, all that stuff.
Well, things like menopause.
Right.
That makes an adjustment. Having children as well.
Right.
Just in general, women tend to have a higher body fat content.
Right.
It's just
for having babies. That's what their body's designed for.
So basically, they tend to have just a higher, and that's just part of life. That's part of nature.
Right.
And when you add these other things on top, hey, men too. I mean,
right.
men, they're starting to find out more about having lower testosterone, and then more and more studies are coming out with that. The verdict's still out for me when it comes to those types of things.
Okay.
But
trade-off, risk benefit.
Right.
Tom will tell.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but as far as with the data showing that for women, it is very true what you just said.
Yeah. So we got some, Joe, your mom's actually in the comments right now. She said menopause is evil, but prior to that, she said sugar is evil. So
yes.
we got that going for us. My wife's in the comments. She was
Heather.
saying, she said you're beautiful.
I love you.
To be good. And then we got Cody, who we've talked about a couple of times. He's in the comments, and earlier he said, I want to find this because it was funny. He said, where's it at? Ah, man, I can't find it. Hold on, right here. He said that you said that you had some, where's it at? It's right here. You got some weight to lose still. He said, but girl, you're beautiful. So he said,
thank you.
Kevin, it's okay. Don't get up. It's okay.
Yeah.
Her husband's sitting right off to the side. It's all good.
Well, it's
pulling the gloves on.
Yeah.
I think health is an endless journey. And
Absolutely.
the older you get, the harder it gets because your body's not as young as it used to be. Your joints aren't as young. So it's more mental. To me, when I get up and work out, it's like, I got to tell my brain, let's do this. My body's there. It's my brain saying, well, if you sit on the couch, it's a whole lot cooler. You
are absolutely designed to stay on the couch.
Right.
Everything in your body
Yes.
screams, do not get up. Stay here. Don't go work out. And you have to, that's it. And now you could probably attest to that. That's the game, right?
Yes.
It's just beating that little voice.
Yeah.
If
You just tell it to shut up.
Yes.
You grab your keys and you walk out the door.
That's
You go
right.
to the gym.
And I've heard many people say, especially people that got into the fitness and working out kind of thing later in the game, they always say, and I recognize it, 99.9999999% of the battle is getting there. If that's the gym, if that's going to the gym or in your garage or wherever it is that you work out, is getting there. Once you're there and you start doing it, usually you're fine. And then when you leave, you're like, why was I even doubting this?
Yeah.
What the hell was I doing? I feel so good. It's like a natural high.
And you don't want to go sit on the couch.
No. and for me, at least, you're not hungry. You don't want to eat. Your body's like, no, we're good. Let's roll. Let's rock and roll.
And then once you get
something to hold you accountable.
Right.
That's something like having a workout partner you're
right.
meeting. Something along those lines. Hiring a personal trainer if you're able to do that. Those types of things where you're somebody else is relying on you to be there.
That's right.
And that's helpful as well. Your Facebook Facebook group.
It's always good to have a support system.
That support system, people to hold you accountable.
And I want to get into that, but you said it earlier too. It's like anytime somebody goes down this journey to begin with, you're usually at the beginning vulnerable, typically uneducated in nutrition and what's causing the problem. There's the psychological aspect of it, right? Why am I using food to cover up whatever it is, whether it's
in denial,
correct, and then denial, right? So it's all these big, huge human emotions and things that you have to tackle. But what's the first thing, you already said it, what's the first thing you get hit with when you start going down the Google research? Someone trying to hawk a product to you, someone trying to sell you some shit.
Here's a magic pill
that either doesn't work at all or maybe kind of works. But if you're looking for that magic bullet, that's never going to be it, right? No. So you were able to dodge that.
I just made up my mind. I mean, I said, I looked at all those things and I was like, I'm not going down this road. People reached out to me and I told them straight up, I was like, I don't want your crap. I'm doing it by myself. I don't need you.
Right.
I don't need anybody. I can do this on my own.
How was putting in the exercise portion of it? So we talked about diet, keto, cutting out the carbs, eating, more of a healthy fat diet.
Yes.
Right. How was the going in? Was that the first time you've been in a gym?
No. So I had a membership, and I mean, I would go and look.
That's good, right? Like I got a membership. A lot of people. I got a membership. That's no big deal.
I ain't gonna lie.
I have a Peloton.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
it's got clothes on it, but
exactly.
Well, I needed to tan, so
I
had a membership for that too. But no, I would go. Well, I did that for my eczema too. So that actually helps, believe it or not. But I'm not promoting tanning beds by any means.
Right.
But the UV light helped with the eczema. Anyway, so I would go a couple of times. I would just go and ride a bike. for a little bit because all the machines kind of looked intimidating. I mean, we went to the gym many, many, many years ago before we had our daughter, and he had started going back himself. But with my knee hurting me the way it was, I didn't want to go and do any of those, because I knew if I did anything, it was going to hurt me.
Well, and that's that kind of snowball effect, right?
Yeah.
Now you're trying to lose the weight, but your body's like, hell, we can't. We can't.
I'm hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would just put my knee brace on, and I would do. After talking to them, they said, bicycle, the elliptical, which is
low
made
impact
by Satan, and I can't handle ellipticals. They're evil.
Well, they're low impact though.
They are.
They should be better for your knees than running traditional.
For sure.
Yeah. He said stay away. He's like, stay away from the treadmill.
Yep.
Because it's that impact that on my knee constantly.
Swimming is another good one.
That's something else he said as well.
But if you're overweight, you may not feel comfortable going to a public pool or wherever to go swim.
Sometimes your insurance will cover water therapy. So we just kind of dogged them a few minutes ago, but some of them will cover that. So patients that have such trouble moving around that it's almost impossible for them to get exercise otherwise, you can go to your doctor maybe get a prescription for water aerobics. Therapy, water aerobics.
My grandmother does that.
Yeah.
I mean, she's it's better for the elderly.
Awesome.
Correct.
Because
And
it's low impact. You don't get hurt. You don't have to deal with meatheads throwing weights in the gym. You can just get in there and hang out with your friends and get some work done.
Yeah, there's many ways you can do it. Even if you just go out and decide to, take your dog for a walk, or just go grab your bottle of water and walk around your street a couple of times. It's just getting out and starting it. Getting up. Once you start getting it, you start feeling the energy, and you don't want to go and adding the weights or the gym, I should say. I started in September. I think that's what you were asking me. So I was like, okay, when am I going to start going religiously? Because I was just going like here and there. I'd sit on the bike for 15, 20 minutes. Then I'd go home, and I kind of look at everything, and I was intimidated. And then I was like, nope. Hell, I've done it this far. I've already gone all the way up to this point, on my own. I might as well I want to kick it into gear now. But I had to do it when I was ready.
Right.
Yes.
Because if
all
I would have gone when
mental.
I wasn't ready, I would have given up, and
quit.
it would have compromised, because I know me. It would have compromised my whole journey.
Right.
Because I would have given up on one thing and would have felt so bad and guilty
that you'd quit.
That I would have quit everything.
Right.
Because that's me. That's that's how I was. I just let all this, I don't know why all of a sudden I just made my mind. It was like a switch.
Well, like you said, I think you got hit with some truth bombs from your doctor.
Nothing's a motivator like fear.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that right now. Fear of losing your family because you won't be around for a few more years.
That's right. And now you hold, and I think we touched on this right at the beginning, you hold a unique perspective of someone who battled that for a long time, in denial, maybe at times, right?
Oh, yeah,
about it at times. And then all of a sudden made that switch. So now you've already been through all this. You know what it's like to not know. You know what it's like to come to that realization. You know what it's like to be out there searching for that information, right? So now you have the ability to now set up a situation with social media being the way that it is. And I think you've already done this. I think we talked about this.
To help other people.
You have a Facebook group to help other people. And as long as you, and I know you, don't turn into the short-term salesman and want to hawk, this sugar pill or some caffeinated, buy this pyramid Ponzi scheme kind of a thing. You can guide people that are, and you probably notice they're not even comfortable enough talking about it, much less implementing a plan. Right?
It's scary. It's really scary. You're scared of putting anything on social media that somebody else might see or take a screenshot
judgment
of, total judgment.
Or I'm going to do it for a little while and then I fail. And then now I'm really depressed or loser or whatever.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. And I think another thing to look at here is that, and kind of coming back, something I said a little bit earlier, is like, look at the good that you've done. See, you don't have to go be skinny.
Right.
That is a misrepresentation. Put your magazines down.
Yep.
Forget what people are looking like on the advertisements. To make an improvement in the quality of your life, you don't have to look like everybody else.
Right.
You can do it with what you've done. I mean, adding 8 years to your life, you got more. Keep going, you've got more. I mean, 8 years, that's already a victory,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you're in the winner's bracket.
Right.
So, you keep pushing, you keep moving forward, and you keep going there, and you'll find your happy place where you want to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great point. It's not all vanity. It's
No,
not, we're not all
no,
talking
it's
about
not.
swimsuits
It's
and
not.
cover models, right?
No,
This is
'cause,
health.
I mean, even if you work out every day, you still probably wouldn't get to that. A lot
No.
of people wouldn't.
No.
Got those bodies that
right.
they have.
And that's a little bit,
And
like,
I think,
not what the goal should
Right.
be anyway.
No.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you
yeah.
talk about cover.
and when you go to the
magazines.
gym, you got to attack it as a mountain. You know,
Yep.
I'm going to go 1 or 2
Step-
days, and then 3 days, and then I work up to 5 days,
Right.
and then you hit that switch where it's not, oh, I want to go to the gym. It's, oh, I didn't go to the gym.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
We had this
right.
conversation.
That's
Right.
where you want to
today.
be.
That's
right?
right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you feel worse when you don't go to the
Yes.
gym, and it's like, and then it kicks in so hard that you're addicted. So now you're not addicted to food. Now you're addicted to working out, and now you're going to be healthy. And now you're like, oh,
I know, right? Who thought a fat girl would be a gym rat?
A lot of people are, though.
But
A lot of
they
people
do
are-
that.
Right, and that's something else that kind of scares people off. They have in their mind today, like, fix of like what a gym is like.
Correct.
And they may have not walked into a gym for 25, 30 years. It is not.
It's not-
what it is. It is people like you.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not a meat-
They don't bother you.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, there's some meathead gyms because
Right, and that's fine. That's fine.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool for them, right?
Yeah.
They want to do that. But most of the ones you're seeing pop up, that's not what they're about.
Yeah.
It's
about
regular. It's
healthy.
regular folk.
Yeah.
I think if nothing else out of this podcast, if the Facebook group that you have doesn't turn into gain more by losing, and that be the name, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a brand right
That
there.
is.
Gain
Okay.
more by
I
losing.
like
More
that.
by losing.
I mean, that's it. But and then one of the other questions I want to hit on, just like to the audience especially, is like, how many of y'all out there listening, watching on the live stream or on the audio podcast, how many of your doctors, whether it be your primary care or especially your orthopedist who could potentially be making money by every joint you destroy through weight loss, how many of them come on and take time out of their day? Because I know you guys are busy, man. Y'all do a lot of cases. Y'all work long hours. I don't envy y'all's job, but I appreciate what you do. Like, y'all put in the time.
Thank you.
Not only on a daily basis, but just to get to where you're at. People don't understand. Like, they think doctors, they got the cush life and they make tons of money. It's like, you don't understand the hard work that they put in just to get there.
The grind.
And here you are, because you were impressed with one of your patients, her story, to support and then get this information out. I want to say kudos to you, Dr. Tucker.
Absolutely.
Bienville Orthopaedics. If you don't have a doctor, orthopedist, and you need one for whatever reason, check these guys out, man. That says a lot.
Hey, thank you very much. I
Absolutely.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's
We
awesome.
totally preach it in our house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're local too. They're right
Yes.
here
That's
on
right.
What are y'all, exit 50?
Yeah, we've got
They're
clinic
everywhere.
in just
Yeah.
about everywhere. I mean, so
If you,
we're good.
yeah,
Just-
if you're looking
just
for it,
Google
we
us
can
right
find
quick,
it.
you'll
Yeah,
find it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there anything we haven't touched on though about your journey that you want to share? Like, for that, what about that person that's sitting out there? We said, what about that
Yeah.
girl, guy, whatever, who's sitting?
What's the kicker to get you to, when I want to quit? What did you tell yourself that worked for you?
Honestly, I got mad at myself. And I know that's not healthy. Like, probably people,
I
psychologists. or
I disagree
whatever,
with
but
that. I disagree
I
with
really
that.
got mad at
Sometimes
myself
that's what it
for
takes.
letting myself get to the point that I had.
Well, you didn't turn it into self-loathing. You
No.
turned it
Right.
into action. That's
I turned it
difference.
into action.
Right.
Some
That
anger-
was my
some
fuel.
anger is
That was
righteous.
my
Correct.
anger. That
Yeah.
was I was like, you know what? I'm done.
Right.
I'm just done. Sometimes when you're just done, you're just done.
Right.
And you got to do it when you're ready.
Yeah.
Because if you don't make up your mind, and if somebody else is telling you to do it, making you and forcing you, you're going to quit.
Yeah.
And you don't need to quit.
Where
Because you can do this.
where is that Facebook group if people want to go
Oh,
join it?
yeah.
that's
Right
listening
now
to
it's
this?
called Phoenix Rising, but maybe we might need to change it.
Gain more. I
Gain
think
more.
Gain
No,
more by
I
losing
called
is
it
pretty
that
legit.
because I feel like that.
Yeah.
I feel like Kevin actually got me this a couple years ago, and it's my necklace, but it's a phoenix. It's
Kind of like
that's-
being reborn.
Yeah.
It's reborn,
Yeah.
you know, because
Yeah.
I've had some struggles, and we could even say mental health is a whole nother topic too.
Oh,
you know,
no,
I
huge.
suffer from depression. I do. I have to take depression medication. I have to take anxiety medication. That's a huge thing. So I not only had to cover or, overcome that.
Yep.
I had to overcome hypothyroidism, holding back my metabolism. I had to overcome just, God,
Being
I was
a woman,
over
having
300
kids.
I was 327 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As of 2 days ago, I'm at 247 pounds.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Kudos to you.
Thank
Kudos
you.
to you. I've
You lost
had,
a person and a half.
Yes.
That's right.
We've done some like trainers during COVID. We had some people virtually on the show, like, so they weren't live in studio. And one of the ones was a gym out of Gulfport, and we talked about that. To me, physical fitness and working out is, I would say it's way more about mental health. That physical health becomes the secondary. So it starts with your physical health problem, probably,
Absolutely.
but you have to correct the mental health part of it, and then that is the big benefactor of it. You're like, oh wow, I feel better. I don't maybe need the depression medication or whatever, or maybe you still do. Everybody's different, but then that starts kicking in, and then the health benefits that you've mentioned already, start to shine through as well.
Absolutely. So if you bring in what you're talking about now are the physical and mental benefits of exercise.
Correct.
So, and that's a whole nother topic,
Right.
of
that's
of
not
things you can
discussed
talk.
though. It's
It's
never
not.
discussed.
It's too
Right.
taboo.
So when you look at reduction of anxiety, improvement of depression, just sort of stabilizing your mood. I mean, it is, again, clinically proven that exercise benefits that. Now, if you're a person that needs medications, you may continue to need medications afterwards. Or if you're still having problems after some exercise, you may need to go see a primary care doctor to get you to see with that, which, what we all should have. Once you somebody to kind of watch over your health, things that you might not know about, your cholesterol, your blood pressure, all those things. Get checked out once a year. I mean,
yearly
you do it for your car.
Yes.
I mean, do it for yourself, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And before you start any healthcare regimen of any type, go see your primary, get your blood work drawn, make sure they say that you're healthy to do what you need to do.
Yeah,
that's it.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with that. Just one more thing before we wrap things up. It's like, I want to hit on that one more time, because I think that's the person who can benefit the most is the guy or girl who's out there really, and they don't know where to start. What can they do? Like, I would say join your group. Direct message you, talk to you,
Yes,
right? I mean,
absolutely.
and you're not
I'm
selling
here.
anything. This isn't this. You don't have a product. You don't have a membership fee to get in this group. Just talk to somebody, right?
Yep. The
Just
only
powers in
requirement
numbers.
is to help encourage others in the group, because it's not only about a healthy journey. And no, it's not just a keto group. It's a healthy journey.
Right.
It's for anyone and everyone who needs some help, needs some guidance, needs some cheering,
Right.
Yeah.
needs some pat on the backs.
Right.
Yeah, you lost a pound. Congratulations. That's huge.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh, you gained a pound? It's just water weight. It's okay. Keep going, because it'll come back off, at the end. Don't give up.
Yes.
That's my biggest thing is don't
So
give
y'all are a
up.
huge emotional support
I've
hotline.
totally, that's my thing. I've got several friends on there, and I've got them helping me post some more positive things, so you can see some kind of a positivity, in your feed every day of some sort. Maybe you might need that, you know. I also, some of those people on there, I might just reach out to them randomly and tell them, you're beautiful and I hope you have a wonderful day. Keep this going. You've got this.
Right.
And I can't tell you how many people have reached out. Like, you don't know what that meant to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's just be nice, man.
Yeah.
Be friends, be
Yeah.
helpful, help people, lift them up. You wouldn't like just throw a drug addict on the floor. You'd want them to get help. If you want to help lift them up somehow with a food addict, lift them up, show them give them healthy options to choose from. We post recipes. I've got friends and it's not even all just, recipes. It's, hey, I bought this ice cream in the store and it's awesome.
Right.
Like
right.
I found that I can do keto and still have ice cream. Like, I mean, there's certain keto ice cream I can have. There's chocolates. There's all kinds of stuff. And a lot of people, it's kind of a trial and error because some of that stuff tastes really bad.
Right.
I even eat bread, Jared.
Really?
Sola bread.
Well,
I'm telling you, that stuff is amazing. It's 2 carbs per slice.
And have you got to a point now where you ever take, I don't want to, like a day off, a cheat
No.
day is what they call? No.
No.
You're
And
still.
I want to mention on that because I had so many people when I started this journey, and he was one of them too. I'm going to say it.
Her husband.
You can have. Yeah, sorry, my bad. I keep
That's
pointing
okay.
him.
Stop pointing
He's
at
in
me.
the corner. He's bad.
We're the professionals.
Not
We'll-
me.
We'll keep it. We'll keep it all in line. I'll paint the pictures for the audience. Keep
Oh, geez. But you get a cheat day. Take a cheat day. Have your weekend. It's a cheat weekend. Do what you want.
And then it snowballs.
No,
Yeah.
because you know what? That's evil. Would you tell a heroin addict, have a cheat day?
Oh.
You've been clean for a month.
Yeah.
Have a cheat day. Go on in
Well,
there and take care of
and
that.
That
And
brings up a good thing that I was going to say earlier. I forgot too. So this isn't my quote, but somebody talked about it. It might have been who's the guy from Varsity Blues? I can't think of his name right now. I'm talking about the actor who lost Suppley, Ethan Suppley.
Oh, yeah.
He
Bubba? What's his
Ethan
name?
Suppley is his name. Look him up.
Rally, dude?
Yes, look him up on Instagram. He's shredded now, jacked up, dude.
Wow,
like works out.
really?
He was like 400 something.
Yeah.
He was massive.
What's his name?
But he was on Rogan and he talked about this. He said, think about addiction for just a second, because you said heroin. He said, food addiction is the only addiction that exists that you can't do complete abstinence from. If you're a heroin addict, no one says eat a little heroin every now and again throughout the day. Like, stop doing heroin, stop doing alcohol, stop doing pills, whatever it is. You can't do that with food.
No.
You have to continue to have that relationship with that thing. And that's difficult. That's crazy.
And you don't want it to become a bad relationship. I had a friend of mine that hey, Brendan, I talk to at work, and he, we were really close, and he was telling me one day, because I said, oh, I got to go eat lunch. I got to go eat something. And he goes, wait a minute. I don't like the way you just said that. And I said, what? He's like, I'm afraid you might becoming like having a bad view and a bad relationship with food.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God,
and that
no, I don't want
problems.
that.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and I thanked him, because not only was he a true friend to me and stood up and said, hey, you might becoming, you got to be careful. You might have a problem with this. Mm-hmm. That right there speaks volumes. Speak up for your friends. Help your friends out.
Yeah.
Right. So what we're kind of getting into the area are eating disorders.
Correct.
Right.
And they exist in all different varieties. And, if you're feeling like you're kind of in that direction, that you should seek medical help through either primary care.
Yep.
Or a psychologist can help with those types of things as well.
Yep.
So, so if you're feeling in that and you're going into that area of that's part of your life, that those are some things that you can seek help for, and they can help give you some tools.
Yep.
To help combat that.
It's a multifaceted problem,
because it is a battle.
It's all the way
it's
around.
A marathon,
that's why it's so hard.
It's you can't win the race in a week.
Correct.
You got to start
slow and steady, man. Slow and
work.
steady.
A turtle. You got to be a turtle.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
Turtle wins, man.
Turtle wins the race all the time.
I knew this was going to be a good one, and I think it has absolutely turned out to be that. Donna, thanks for coming and talking with us today.
Had a blast.
No, and we wish you continued success on this journey.
Can I say one more quick
You
thing?
can say whatever you want.
Just one more quick thing.
Go ahead.
Do not look at that scale and judge yourself by it, because my 247 pounds right now probably looks completely different on someone else with their different body size.
Right.
You cannot let that be
dictate.
Yeah,
your
you
self-worth.
can't let it dictate it. You can't.
Right.
And if you're going to start a regimen, you want to see results. Don't do just the scale. Measurements.
Yep.
Right.
Measure everything.
Long game.
Yes.
Like Joey said.
Use the free app. If you don't want to pay the $40 for the subscription, use Carb Manager or some other app or something to hold yourself accountable to see what you're eating in your face all day long. How many calories you're ingesting, how much protein, how much fat, how much, everything, how many carbs.
Yep.
You could even, whenever you get down to some of those, you can even put potassium levels and like glucose levels and what you want everything to be in these things. And it's really helpful. I mean, I honestly think that's one way that helped me stay on track.
And get a support system. Find that Facebook group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Find a support system.
Say it again. How do they get to it?
It's Phoenix Rising.
Okay. And just type that in. It'll come up under Facebook groups.
It should be under Facebook groups. And it's got a painting that I painted of a phoenix.
Okay.
Like that was I zoned in and that was it. And it hangs literally right in front of my face at my desk at work. That way I see it and it's always in my face. And I always know that, I'm going to rise up from this and I'm going to be bigger, better, stronger, healthier, and happier.
And I know you well enough that if somebody who's not even comfortable enough to join the group just yet, maybe shoot her a direct message.
Yes,
she'll keep you anonymous if you know what I mean, because it's that big of a deal for certain people.
I will gladly help you. I will gladly help you. I'm not getting any payments or anything. It's just
support.
It's all from, and like I said, in this group, there's absolutely no sales whatsoever.
Even allowed. Yeah.
Not even allowed. Don't even try, because I'm not going to have it.
Yes.
This is about helping and lifting each other up, not trying to make your dollar.
I love it.
Awesome.
Thank you for stopping by today.
Thank you for
Dr.
having
Tugger,
me.
I'm very impressed to see, like, they talk about bedside manners when it comes to physicians. I mean, this is above and beyond to come in here and support her like you're doing.
Right.
And I hope that should not go unnoticed. Bienville Orthopaedics, look them up. They're all over the web. You can find them. Reach out to him. I'm sure you're on social media, anywhere, Facebook, anything like that. If somebody wants to talk to you.
Believe it or not, I actually don't do a whole lot of that.
Okay, I can respect that too.
Right, but we,
Call 'em.
but we do, but Bienville has one.
Yes.
You can reach out to us through that, and you can call our office. You can make an appointment.
Yeah,
I mean, so we got a great group of physicians.
Y'all do,
and
I'm
proud of each of them. They do a great job, and
Yep, I
so
can
you can
personally attest to that. I've seen in surgery with you guys, y'all are absolute professionals, and I can't say enough good about that. So, thanks for taking your time out of your evening.
All right,
Be healthy.
Small steps.
And thanks everybody for listening on the live stream, watching on the live stream, and everybody in the podcast world for checking us out. We appreciate that from Joey and I's perspective, and we'll see y'all on the next one.
Later.
Bye. Thanks.